Well, hello Canada, it's your Uncle Clark, and in this very first video of the 12 days till Canada Day countdown, I'm going to be counting down from number 12 all the way down to number 1 of my very favorite and most influential Canadian musicians. You ready? Let's go. Quiet on the set. Alright, now to kick things off in the number 12 spot, we have Alanis Morissette. That's right. Jagged Little Pill rocketed Alanis to fame here in Canada and throughout the world way back in 1995 when I was in grade 7, and all the cool kids, especially the local scooter and skateboard gang, had that album on repeat, and it seemed to somehow capture the insecurity and angst and overriding fear of life in a way that made us all feel like we were maybe a little bit older than we were and perhaps justified the way we viewed the world. Now, I don't know what Alanis is up to these days, but because that first album was such an iconic part of my earlier years, I thought I'd start things off with her in the number 12 spot. Okay, number 11, Leonard Cohen. If you don't know who Leonard Cohen is, you're probably 12 years old or under, but the man is an absolute legend. He gave us the Hallelujah, which is arguably the most covered song of all time, so much so that Leonard had to publicly ask people to stop covering it. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about him as a person, and I only know a couple of his songs, but one fine evening a couple summers ago when I was playing darts with a few of my buds, someone threw a Leonard Cohen song on called You Want It Darker. And my goodness gracious, if you have not heard that song, You Want It Darker by Leonard Cohen, it is the most impressive vocal recording I have ever heard. I mean, the man's voice could replace the rocket engines on the space shuttle. He is absolutely incredible. Okay, number 10, Tom Cochrane. That's right, the Life is a Highwayman himself. Other classic hits include Sinking Like a Sunset, The Big League, and No Regrets, but the main reason I have Tomothy on my list is because no matter what kind of mood I'm in, and I mean, I could have just had every single Nickelback fan write me an angry email or found out that the Oilers did not make the playoffs, but no matter what, when Tom's song Life is a Highway comes on, I'm instantly in the greatest mood of my life. There's just something about that song that makes me want to hop in my truck and head out on the highway with the windows down, hit the gas, and just leave all my worries behind. Okay, guess who's number 9? See what I did there? My dad always used to make that joke, and but yeah, the Guess Who is number 9. The band, Guess Who. Now, I grew up drywalling with my dad on the evenings and weekends, and we'd always have the classic rock station playing, and whenever a Guess Who song would come on, he'd say, Hey Clark, guess who plays this song? And I'd say something wrong, like, I don't know, April Wine or some such, and he'd say, No, I just told you, Guess Who plays this song? And I'd feel like an idiot for falling for it once again, but the Guess Who gave us classics like These Eyes, Laughing, She's Come Undone, a hand-me-down song, An American Woman, and so many more. They were a very big part of my growing up years, so that's why they're here at number 9. Okay, moving on to number 8 with Our Lady Peace. That's right. Now, some of you older folk might not recognize this band, and maybe some of you younger folk, the Beaver generation, might not either, but for all those people in between, the young and the old, if you did not have an Our Lady Peace CD in your CD binder back in the day, well, it practically doubled as a Canadian passport, and that is a verified fact. Maybe not a verified fact, but you get the point. Our Lady Peace burst out onto the scene when I was in grade 8 with their album Clumsy, and I've been hooked ever since. With their guitars and drums and hooks and angsty vocals, they provided most of the summer soundtrack of my teenage years, and Our Lady Peace grabs the number 8 spot. All right, number 7. You all know this band, the Tragically Hip. That's right. Now, Gordon Downie left this world way too soon, but when he did, he and the Tragically Hip left behind some of Canada's greatest and most beloved music. My brother was a very big fan, and I could always hear them playing through his bedroom door, or when we were driving in his car, he'd always have an album on. And the very first album of theirs I really dived into was Trouble in the Hen House, and since then I've grown to love so many of their songs, as have the majority of Canadians, both young and old, and for that reason, they're sitting here at number 7. Alright, moving on to number 6 with Bob and Doug McKenzie and Geddy Lee from Rush. $10 is $10, am I right? The famous pairing of Bob and Doug McKenzie as the Hoser brothers from the Great White North have brought joy and laughter to all us Canadians for well over 4 decades now. And while technically not musicians or a band, they did have 2 hits on their comedy album that have stood the test of time. The first being their parody of the Christmas classic, 12 Days of Christmas, and the second, their timeless Canadian classic and my son's favorite song, Take Off to the Great White North. featuring Geddy Lee from Rush. Now, with a musical hook that could catch a sleeping blue whale, the comedic geniuses of Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas and Geddy Lee's infamous vocals, Take Off will go down in my books as the greatest Canadian song ever recorded. Well now, how about number 5? Who could that be? Yeah, you guessed it, Sarah McLachlan. You simply cannot have a list of influential Canadian musicians without Sarah. The voice of a soft and gentle angel who can write songs and play the piano like a soft and gentle angel. Sarah McLachlan has been helping couples everywhere fall in love since the early 90s, and I first found her music on a mixtape. Now that's a custom-made playlist on a cassette tape. You have to Google that, you younger folk. That my brother's future wife made for him, and I stole that tape and I used to rewind it all night long and listen to the same Sarah McLachlan songs on repeat as I dreamt of marrying whichever lucky lady I happened to be fond of at the time. And lest we forget her Christmas albums, which have become as standard a Christmas item as the Christmas tree itself. Merry Christmas, Sarah. Well, all right then, number 4, the one and only Miss Celine Dion. That's right. With a voice so powerful that it can shake a foot of freshly fallen snow clean off a Honda from 150 yards, my heart will always go on for Celine, as she has provided my wife and I some of our most cherished road trip memories. I don't believe we've been in the car for more than an hour and not sang our voices raw to a bare minimum of 3 classic Celine songs. I mean, you've got It's All Coming Back to Me Now, Because You Love Me, All By Myself, The Power of Love, To Love You More. I mean, Celine is the queen of not only powerful love ballads, but also the often overlooked and underutilized musical super weapon, the key change. Yeah, that's right. Just when you think you could not possibly love your significant other anymore, Celine goes and proves you wrong with those mighty and timeless key changes. Thank you, Celine. Whoa now, the top 3. Okay, here we go. Clinching the bronze medal on my list is Canada's most awarded country singer of all time, Paul Brandt. That's right. Now, anytime I listen to a Paul Brandt song, I either want to drive off into the sunset, I want to forgive someone I should have forgave a long time ago, or just live my life better in a general kind of way. A rare combination of incredible musical talent and kindness, Paul is known all over the country for being Mr. Nice Guy. And having hung out with the man many times myself, I can attest to his reputation. Now, using his platform for far more than just fame and music, Paul and his wife Liz founded Not in My City, an organization meant to raise awareness and bring together groups already working to fight human trafficking. That's right. Good on you, Paul. Oh, and I'm pretty sure anytime anyone drives into Alberta, they're either listening to or singing Alberta Bound at the top of their lungs. Okie dokie, number 2. Who do we have here? Martel. That's right. Now, Marc is hands down the greatest male vocalist on the planet, period. I'd even go so far as to say he's a better singer than Freddie Mercury, who vocally he's often compared to. So much so that Marc was even tapped to provide many of Freddie's vocals in the recent Oscar award-winning movie Bohemian Rhapsody. And with a vocal range that few can challenge, Marc's voice can quietly move you to tears with a soothing quality that only candles and baby seals can match. Or he can make you jump out of your seat and make you think you actually know how to sing along to your favorite rock song. Now, his cover of Tom Waits's Take It With Me on his YouTube channel is the most beautiful song I have ever heard, hands down, and it makes me cry every time I hear it. And speaking of crying, any man that's capable of making Celine Dion cry in a good way is clearly doing something right. Am I right? Whew! We made it all the way down to number 1. Now, who could that possibly be? I mean, we've already listed Bob and Doug, we've listed Sarah, Alanis, Celine, all the greats. I don't think there's any... Oh, wait a minute. Now, there is someone left, isn't there? Of course, you know who I'm talking about. Not Nickelback. Some of you out there thought I was going to say Nickelback. You know, they were a close 52nd on my list here, but they weren't quite first. No, the number 1 spot belongs to the Canadian legend himself, Bryan Adams. That's right, Bryan Adams. Now, I don't know if there's a musician out there who has had as many hits as Bryan Adams has had. Let's just list a few of the classics, shall we? Heaven. Cuts Like a Knife.
Now it cuts like a knife, but it feels so right.
Run to You.
I'm gonna
Summer of 69.
Back in the summer of 69. Oh,
Do I have to say the words?
do I have to say the words?
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me. I know not what I do.
Cloud number 9.
Up on cloud number 9. Oh yeah.
It's only love.
It's only love. That's all.
Have you ever really loved a woman?
So tell me, have you ever really ever loved a woman?
Straight from the heart.
Just give it to me straight from the heart.
Somebody.
I need somebody like you.
Can't stop this thing we started.
Can't stop this thing we started.
18 till I die.
18 till I die. Gonna be 18 till I die.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to love you.
And of course, one of the greatest love songs of all time, and the only thing that made listening to Kevin Costner's American accent in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves worthwhile, the classic of all classics.
You know it's true.
Everything I do it for you. My goodness gracious, no one can make you fall in love, break up, forget about the whole thing, and rebound as quickly as Bryan Adams can. No one can make you live your life like you only had one night left like Bryan Adams. And no one can make you lift up your shirt, flash him at a concert, and try and get on stage to sing a duet with him like I did that one time because my wife thought it would be funny, like Bryan Adams. He was and remains to this day a hugely gigantic part of my musical life. And for that, I tip my toque to you, Mr. Adams. And I tip my toque to everyone on this list. Music is, in my opinion, the icing on the cake of life. And up here in Canada, my goodness, we have some of the best musicians in the world that are kind enough to share their songs with us. So, what do you think of my list? Did I miss anything? Did I miss anyone? Let me know in those comments. And remember to keep things classy while you're down there. Until next time, stay beauty, Canada.